Hi, I'm Chelsea Husum, your host of the Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and mom of two. And I'm so tired of women not feeling like they can show up as fully expressed versions of themselves. So here, we're all about that unapologetically, because honestly, we don't have time not to. Literally because we're busy as F moms and entrepreneurs, but also figuratively because we don't know how much time we have on this planet and we want to make an impact now. But if we're doing this, we're making it real vibes only. So let's get inspired, laugh our asses off, quite possibly cry, and feel like you're sitting on the couch with your bestie and a glass of wine. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea Husum, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to kind of share, I do want to share about one of the most, honestly, this is probably the most traumatic thing I've ever gone through in my life. And if you've read my book, Real Vibes Only, you know that there's a few things in there. But for me, I want to talk about a 2.5-year lawsuit that I was in. And probably it was so traumatic. Well, it was just really horrible overall, but it went on for 2.5 years. So it just like engulfed my life and like took over my life for so long that it was just absolutely horrific. So I remember the day, it was a few years ago that my family and I were up in, I think it was fall break. And I remember we were up in the mountains and taking a little trip. And I saw this man in a flannel shirt with a manila envelope. And he was ringing the doorbell. And I was like, I just got this horrible feeling. I was just like, something is wrong. Like something is wrong. And he stood there for a long time. And then my neighbor said, there's some guy like sitting outside your house for like an hour. Then he came back and rang the doorbell. And I was just like, something is wrong. I told my husband something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but like, anyway, this man, the flannel wearing man, was trying to serve me papers. And I remember he came back like a few nights later at like 8 p.m. Like, really, I'm putting my kids to bed. It was like 8:30. And like the nice asshole I am, I open the door and he hands me this manila envelope and I tell him thank you because, yeah, that's just, I'm a freak. And I open it and honestly, like my whole body, like the blood just drained and I felt literally ill. I was like, oh my God, I'm being sued. And honestly, it was just like a total gut punch. Like, holy shit, what is happening? Reading this was just the most asinine bullshit you've ever heard. And honestly, like, so this just started the journey of 2.5 years of absolute horrific, heavy, just depression and just the worst situation I've ever encountered in my life. And, this is just trucking along, going on and on and on forever, having to be like a wife and a mom and a business owner during that time was really difficult. And like, there would be times where I would just be so depressed and just so overwhelmed that I really could barely function. And I was waking up covered in hives. I was, in this deep depression, just the heaviness was just like all consuming. And, I'd be trying to work and I'd get another email from my lawyer who I paid $500 an hour to. So that's just like cha-ching, start the freaking clock there. You have to in 2 days, you have to produce thousands of documents and like the most random shit. And it was just violating. It was so violating that I had to produce just all of this stuff. Right. And having to also, in the meantime, like my OCD brain, like, you're not going to win here, person. I print out all the accusations against me. I'm like, okay, check. Here's the evidence that shows that's not true. Check. Okay, next one. Okay, this is what you're saying I did. Okay, check. Here's evidence directly showing that's not true either. So like, I just go down all of them. I'm like, okay, I got all this evidence. I'm feeling good about this. There's no way. And apparently, like, through all of this, I've learned the legal system is really fucked up. Like, it's just a horrific experience overall. As far as like waiting years to never see a judge or never see anyone that you can actually like say, here's all the evidence that directly show all these claims are not true. But mine never got to that point, even after 2.5 years. And it's just like really understanding, like, you can sue someone for literally anything. I could be like, I don't like your shirt. I'm going to sue you for that. Like, truly, guys, this is like the place society is in. And it's just really messed up. And so if a person doesn't like you, they can sue you and cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to just waste on lawyer fees and legal fees. And then like, it's just absolutely stupid. So, this person is clearly was trying to bankrupt me, all kinds of things, which, haha, yeah, I'm still here. So fuck you. But anyway, really like having just flat out lies told about you is just like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Or having, having, I don't know, just getting other people involved, and like someone will be like, yeah, they just said these lies about you, that lie. And you're like, oh my God, like this is the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever heard in my life. And yet it's like, I learned from my experience that you're pretty much guilty until proven guilty. You're just always guilty because like I said, I had all this evidence, years of all this, never got in front of anyone, a judge, a mediator, anybody that I could be like, here's all my evidence that proves this is a bunch of absolute bullshit and lies. So yeah, I just, at some point, after paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then, 2.5 years in, we're okay, we might be approaching a quote trial date. And again, I'm like, let's go. I have all this stuff to prove. This is just made up stuff. At that point, you're like, your lawyer's like, well, you should probably just settle and just pay more hundreds of thousands of dollars to not go to trial, because at that point, the trial alone could cost you $300,000, and you've already paid hundreds of thousands of dollars up to this point. And and then you're at the mercy of a jury, and maybe they'll believe the lies. And it's just like, oh my God. As much as like, for me, I just want to fight that and be like, absolutely not. This person will not win. They can't take advantage of me this way. They can't violate me in this way. Right. At some point you have to like look around and be like, is this like, clearly nothing has gone well this far, even with all this evidence to prove this is not true. So it's like my faith in the legal system is like zero. It's like -500 at this point. And so it's like, do I really want to take the risk of going to trial? And like, what if somehow they judge against me, and then I'm like declaring bankruptcy and I'm losing my freaking home and like everything I own? Like, is that at all, like, is that even worth it? At some point it isn't. So just saying enough, like there's absolutely nothing I'm admitting to, or I'm not agreeing with any of this. I'm admitting no guilt or liability, or liability with it. But here's a big fucking fat check. Leave me alone. Calling all badass moms and entrepreneurs ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Y'all, I am officially opening spots for one-on-one mentorship. This is designed exclusively for the women who know they're meant for more, but feel stuck in the chaos of balancing business, motherhood, and everything in between. I'm not just another coach. I'm a proven business owner who's built an award-winning company, written a best-selling book, launched a podcast, and built a platform, all while raising a family. If you're ready to get unstuck and take bold action, master time management and boundaries, build an unshakable CEO mindset, and prioritize your energy without guilt, then let's make your next level happen. Faster, smarter, and with zero apologies. This is not for the excuse makers. It's only for women ready to go all in on themselves. Remember, spots are limited, so if you are interested, head on over now to Instagram and send me a DM with the word mentorship. I cannot wait to talk to you, girl. That's apparently like what the legal system has come to. And, you know, through this, like I have never been attacked and like this. I've never had such horrible things said about me, such lies said about me. And, you know, I remember one morning, kind of in the middle of it, probably, it was just the heaviness. I wasn't sleeping. I just was physically ill. And I remember walking downstairs one morning and I'm like, I'm not okay. Like, I am just not okay. And I remember texting a girlfriend who's a therapist, and I was like, hey, I'm not okay and I need help. Do you know any free or cheap like therapists that I could talk to? Because I didn't have any money at that point, really. And, you know, at this point, like I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to live anymore. It was that horrific. And it just had affected me on a whole different level of something I've never experienced. And I honestly hope to God never to experience that again. But she said, girl, I got you. And truly, I needed that so bad at that point. I don't think anyone knows how low I was, how much it had affected my entire life. It had seeped, it's like, and it had been going on for so long. It had like seeped into every part of my life, you know, and my kids are being like, I'd get a text and I'd just start crying and they're like, Mom, are you okay? And, you know, I have to like pretend I'm fine, which I'm fucking clearly not. Or they'll be like, here's $12, Mom, you need it more than we do. You know, it's like your kids trying to give you money. It's just like, oh my God. And, you know, I'd never talked, you know, about this specifically in detail around them, but like for 2.5 years, I'm sorry, like in the house, you can just tell something's off and something's going on as much as I try, you know, to hide it from them or whatever. But I would never wish that on anyone. And I've now actually talked to quite a few people that have been in different legal battles and similar, like it's just the worst experience they've ever had, bleeding money, you know, and it's like at some point you want to fight, you fight it as much as you can, right? But at some point it's, what's it worth anymore? Like, why do you want it to drag on? If, you know, if you can cut the cord and freaking walk away, like, you know, at that point, it's just like, that's what you need to do. And I learned so much, like making it through that was literally the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. And like, I've never been attacked like that or felt such really intense, horrible emotions that I had to deal with for so long, you know, and it's been over now, gosh, almost 1.5 years. And I still kind of have some like PTSD from it. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know if I'll ever like completely heal from that experience, but I came out like with a chip on my shoulder to be like, fuck you. You tried to ruin me. You literally tried to ruin my life. Fuck you. You did not succeed. And like with that chip on my shoulder now, it's like I'm going out in the world. I'm just like, don't even try to get in my way. Don't even try to stop me. I will blow right past you. I am pissed off and I'm done. And I'm done letting people attack me like that or make me feel like that or, treat me that way. And so ever since then, I've just truly, I'm not like going out doing things in my life just to spite this person, right? But it also did help me to be like, let's fucking go. I'm ready. Like, now just watch me run. Just watch me fucking go. Because if I can make it through that, I can literally make it through anything. That was so incredibly tough. And now it's like, it's this weird feeling of like when I think back, to try to like, oh my God, it's been now a little while since it happened. It's like, it feels like so long, but not at the same time. Right. But really it taught me that I can make it through anything. And I, when you're in it, what I learned is I wasn't okay. And I had to be extra gentle with myself. Like I had to not go to as many meetings. I had to kind of like reduce my schedule because I just didn't have the freaking energy. And I had to, like, as much as I wanted to down a bottle of wine every night, because I'm like, oh my God, I had to kind of pull back drinking because then I'd wake up feeling like crap, have a headache, be super cranky. And then I'd like had to produce thousands of documents or hundreds that day. It's like, I didn't have the capacity to like feel like shit in general and then have to deal with all that other stuff. So I really had to like, treat myself a little gentle, like give myself some grace, look at my habits and stuff I was doing. And like, if whatever I was doing made me feel like shit, like I had to remove it because I just did not have the capacity to deal with that anymore. And honestly, to make it through that, like it just wouldn't have, it would have been so much worse to try to make it through that if I wasn't kind of taking care of myself. So, I've ever since then, it's just like, okay, watch me. Here I go. I'm done. I'm done feeling powerless. I'm done having people take my power away. And, I'm proud of myself for making it through. It's definitely, I got a scar for sure that will always be there. But, if I can make it through that, man, I can make it through pretty much anything. So hopefully you have not experienced anything like that. If you have, like I said, I've talked to some friends that have. So if you have, reach out to me. But this is just your reminder from my personal story that like we all go through shit. We all go through really tough times in life. When you're looking around, you're like, I don't think I'm going to make it through. Like, I don't know how I will dig out of this. But this is your reminder. Yes, you will. You can, and you can come out stronger on the other side. You just need to take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Find people to help you. Find friends. Find a therapist. That was huge for me. And know that you can make it out of whatever you're in. You got to give yourself grace. You got to be gentle on yourself, and you got to just dig through and know that someday you will be looking back on that time and be like, oh my God, thank God I made it. So keep your head up if you're going through it. You're not alone. You got this. And always remember, no BS, just real vibes. I'll see you next time on Lip Service and Lashes. If you loved the episode, share it on Instagram and tag me so I can say thank you and meet you. Or share it with a girlfriend who you know would love this too. Always remember, no BS, just real vibes. See you next time on Lip Service and Lashes.